Chapter 9. Harry used to hate Dudley more than anyone else in the world, but now he has Malfoy and he hates him more than Dudley. Harry had to see Malfoy only during the potions lesson until now. But soon, Gryffindors and Slytherins will have flying lesson together. It's just great, says Harry. I'm going to look like a fool on a broomstick and all Slytherins will laugh at me. Don't worry, says Ron. Malfoy always talks about flying, but I think it's just talk. Not just Malfoy, everyone likes to talk about Quidditch. Seamus Finnegan says that he spent half of his life on the broomstick. Ron has an argument with Dean Toms about football. Ron thinks that there's nothing interesting about football because there's only one ball and no one flies around. Neville never rode a broomstick before because his grandmother didn't let him. She thought that it was too dangerous for Neville. Neville agrees with his grandma. Neville always gets in an accident. Hermione is also nervous about flying because you can't read a book and learn to fly on a broomstick. Hermione reads some tips about flying and she talks about it at breakfast on Tuesday. Everyone is bored of her except Neville. He's listening to her carefully. While Hermione is talking about flying tips, mails come. Neville receives a glass ball and he's really happy about it. This is Remembrall, says Neville. Grandma knows that I always forget things. If you forget something, it tells you, look, hold it like this and if it turns red, oh. Neville's face turns red now. You forgot something, finishes Neville. At 3:30, all Gryffindors go to have a flying lesson. They are all excited. When they reach the fields, Slytherins are already there. Their teacher, Madame Hooch, arrives. What are you waiting for? She says. Stand next to the broomstick. Hurry up. Hold your hands above the broomstick and say up, says Madame Hooch. Up, everyone shouts. Harry's broomstick immediately jumps to his hand, but almost all other students are having a problem. Hermione's broomstick only rolls over on the ground, and Neville's broomstick doesn't move at all. Now, Madame Hooch is teaching them about broomstick, how to hold them, and how to ride them. Madame Hooch tells Malfoy that he is doing it wrong. Harry and Ron are happy to hear that. When I whistle, you guys should fly, says Madame Hooch. Fly just a few feet above the ground and come down. 1, 2. Neville flies before she says 3. Come back, boy, shouts Madame Hooch. But Neville is flying higher and higher, and everyone could see that Neville is really scared now. When Neville looks down, he is so scared and falls down. Madame Hooch goes over to Neville and sees that Neville broke his wrist. I'm going to take him to the hospital, says Madame Hooch. When I'm not here, do not touch the broomstick. If you ride it when I'm not here, you will be out of Hogwarts before you can say Quidditch. Then she leaves the students and goes to the hospital with Neville. Malfoy says, Did you look at his stupid face when he was falling down? Ha ha. Shut up, Malfoy, says Gryffindors. Look, says Malfoy, and walks forward and takes something from the ground. It's his stupid thing, Remembrall or something. His grandmother sent it, right? Give me that, Malfoy, says Harry. I will leave it on the tree, says Malfoy. He rides his broomstick and flies away. Come and get it, Potter, says Malfoy. Harry takes his broom. No, says Hermione. Madame Hooch told us not to touch the broomstick. It will get us in trouble. Harry ignores her. He takes his broomstick and starts flying. He doesn't feel scared. He's flying well, and he's really happy. All students are amazed. Ron is whooping, and Harry flies after Malfoy. Gimme, says Harry, or I will push you off your broom. Oh yeah, says Malfoy. He's looking worried now. There is no Crabbe and Goyle up here to help you, says Harry. When Malfoy hears that, he is more scared now. Catch it if you can, shouts Malfoy and throws the glass ball away. Harry sees it and starts flying after the ball. He leans forward and points his broomstick at the glass ball. Now, the glass ball is falling down toward the ground. Harry catches the ball right before it reaches the ground. He is really happy now. Harry Potter. He's scared. Professor McGonagall is running toward him. I never saw something like this before, says Professor McGonagall. It's not his fault, say some of the students. Be quiet. But Malfoy, says Ron. Be quiet, Mr. Weasley, says Professor McGonagall. Potter, follow me, now. Now, they are going to expel me, Harry thinks. He wants to say something, but he couldn't. Professor McGonagall is walking forward, and she's not looking at Harry at all. Harry didn't spend even 2 weeks at Hogwarts. Now he has to pack his bags and leave the school. When they are walking, Professor McGonagall doesn't say a single word to Harry. Harry thinks that they're going to Dumbledore. Maybe Dumbledore will let Harry stay and Harry could be Hagrid's assistant. Professor McGonagall stops outside the class and opens the door. Excuse me, Professor Flitwick, can I meet Wood for a moment? Wood, wonders Harry. Wood comes out of the Flitwick's class. He's a fifth-year student. Follow me, you two, says Professor McGonagall. They go into an empty class. Potter, this is Oliver Wood. Wood, I found you a seeker. Now, Wood looks happy. Are you serious, Professor? Yes, says Professor McGonagall. The boy is natural. I never saw something like this before. Was it your first time on a broomstick, Potter? Harry nods silently. What's going on? Harry doesn't think that they're expelling him right now. He caught that thing so well, right before it hit the ground. I think he's even better than Charlie Weasley. Did you ever watch Quidditch game before, Potter? Asks Wood. Wood is captain of Gryffindor Quidditch team. Professor McGonagall explains. He's perfect to be a seeker, says Wood. He's walking around Harry and looking at him. He's small and fast, perfect. We need to get him good broom. Maybe Nimbus 2000, says Wood. I will speak to Professor Dumbledore and ask him about the first-year rule, says Professor McGonagall. First-year students can't be in Quidditch team. We need a better team than last year. After we lost against Slytherin, I couldn't look at Severus Snape for several weeks. Professor McGonagall looks at Harry and smiles. Train hard, Harry, says she. Your father is proud of you. He was an excellent Quidditch player. You're joking, says Ron. Harry finishes telling his story to Ron. Seeker, says Ron. But first years never. I think you're the youngest house player in a century, says Harry. Wood told me. Ron is so amazed. He couldn't stop looking at Harry. I will start training next week. Don't tell anyone. Wood wants it to be secret. Fred and George Weasley come and say to Harry, well done. Wood told us we are in the team. We are beaters. I think we're going to win the Quidditch Cup this year for sure, says Fred. We didn't win the cup since Charlie left. You must be really good, Harry. Wood was really excited when he was talking about you. See you later, Harry, say the twins and walk away. After the twins go, Malfoy comes with Crabbe and Goyle. Having your last meal, Potter, says Malfoy. When are you going to go back to your Muggle family? You're much braver now on the ground when you have your little friends with you, says Harry coolly. Of course, Crabbe and Goyle are not little at all. But now Harry is not worried because there are many teachers around them. I can beat you alone. Let's have a wizard's duel tonight if you want. But I guess you never heard of a wizard's duel before, Potter? Of course he knows it, says Ron. I'm his second. Who's yours? Malfoy looks at Crabbe and Goyle. Crabbe, says Malfoy, you will be my second. Let's meet at the trophy room at midnight. After Malfoy leaves, Harry and Ron looks at each other. What is a wizard duel? Asks Harry. And you said that you were my second. What does it mean? Your second will fight him if you die, says Ron. Ron said it so calmly, but Harry looks scared now. Ron looks at Harry and says, don't worry. Malfoy and you don't know enough magic. You two can't kill each other even if you want to. I don't know any magic. What should I do? Asks Harry. Throw away your wand and punch him in the nose, says Ron. Excuse me, says someone. Harry and Ron both look around and see Hermione Granger. Can we eat our food in peace? Says Ron angrily. Hermione ignores him and looks at Harry. I just heard your conversation with Malfoy. You can't go and walk around the school at night. You will lose more points. It's none of your business, says Harry. Goodbye, says Ron. Ron gives Harry advice all day. Harry is worried. If someone catches them at midnight, probably they are going to expel Harry. But he has to go and beat Malfoy. It's his only chance. 11:30, Ron says quietly. We have to go now. When they are walking out, someone says, I can't believe you're doing it, Harry. It's Hermione Granger. You, says Ron angrily. Go to your bed. Harry ignores her and walks away, but Hermione doesn't want to give up easily. She follows them. Don't you care about Gryffindor? Says Hermione. Do you only care about yourself? I don't want Slytherin to win the House Cup. If you go now, you will lose all the Gryffindor points. Go away, says Ron. I'm warning you, says Hermione. You will regret it when you're going home on the train. But when she tries to go back, she can't. The fat lady on the Gryffindor door is not there. Now, Hermione can't go back inside. Now, what am I going to do? Asks Hermione angrily. That's your problem, says Ron. We have to go now or we will be late. But Hermione follows them. I'm coming with you, says she. No, you can't, says Ron. I'm not going to stand here and let Filch catch me. If he catches three of us, I will tell him the truth. I can't believe you, says Ron. Shut up, both of you, says Harry. I heard something. Is it Filch's cat, Mrs. Norris? It's just Neville. He's sleeping on the floor. Harry goes and wakes him up. Thank you, guys, says Neville. I slept here for many hours. I couldn't remember the new password. Be quiet, Neville, says Ron. The password is Pig Snout, but you can't go inside now because the fat lady went away. How's your wrist? Asks Harry. Fine, says Neville. Madame Pomfrey healed it in a few minutes. Good, Neville. Now we have to go to somewhere. See you later. Don't leave me, says Neville. I don't want to stay here alone. Ron looks at his watch and says, All right. They walk to the trophy room. When they reach the trophy room, Malfoy and Crabbe are not there. Harry brings out his wand because he wants to be ready. He's late. I think he's scared and doesn't want to come, says Ron. Then they hear the sound. It's not Malfoy. I think they're around here, says someone. We have to find them. It's Filch. He's speaking to his cat. They immediately walk away from him. When Neville is walking away, he falls down and makes so much noise. Run, shouts Harry. Now all of them start running. Where are they going? They don't know. I think we lost them, says Harry after a while. I told you, says Hermione. We have to go back to Gryffindor room quickly, says Ron. Malfoy lied to you, Hermione says to Harry. He was not planning to meet you here. He told Filch about us and Filch was looking for us in the trophy room. Harry thinks that she's probably right, but he doesn't want to tell her that. Let's go, says Harry. Unfortunately, when they are going back to the Gryffindor room, they meet Peeves. When Peeves sees them, he shouts, Students out of bed! Students out of bed! They quickly run away from Peeves and reach the classroom, but they cannot open it. It's locked. Now they can hear Filch. He's coming. Move away, says Hermione. She brings out her wand and says, Alhamora. The door opens and they go inside. Filch thinks that this door is locked, whispers Harry. I think we're safe. Neville pulls Harry's shoulder. Come on, Neville, stop it, says Harry. Then Harry turns around and sees why. They are not in a room. They are in a corridor. Dumbledore said that students couldn't go to the corridor on the third floor, but now they're in that corridor. Now they're looking at a big, big dog. It has 3 heads. It's not attacking them right now. It's too surprised because they entered the corridor so suddenly. But now it's angry. It's starting to make angry sound. If they have to choose between death and Filch, they will choose Filch. They quickly run out of the corridor and start running. If someone hears them, they won't care about it. They want to stay alive. They don't stop until they reach the fat lady. What are you doing outside the room at this time? Pig Snout, says Harry quickly. He doesn't want to answer her question. When they get in the room, they don't speak for a while. Finally, Ron says, What is that dog doing in the school? You don't use your eyes, do you? Says Hermione. It was standing on something. You guys didn't see it? Floor? No, says Hermione. It was standing on a trapdoor. It's guarding something. She stands up and looks at them. I hope you're happy now, says she. You should be happy that the dog didn't kill us, or worse, they didn't expel us. Now I'm going to bed. Ron looks at her. His mouth is open. We didn't ask her to come with us, says Ron. Now Harry is thinking about something because of Hermione. The dog is guarding something. What did Hagrid say? Gringotts is the safest place in the world except Hogwarts. Harry thinks that now he knows about small package. Hagrid took it from the safe 713 and put it in the corridor on the third floor.